I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and Retro Hunting Adventures is back with a big old stack of Nintendo Wii U games. We'll take a look at them after these introductory words from Megaran.
Yo, this is Megaran, and you need to rock and or roll on over to Mr. MegaManFan's YouTube channel, because it's all that rush to make it happen. Peace!
So as always, thank you to hip-hop recording star Megaran for the kind words, and thank you to Ben's Game Zone for having some new Wii U games that were not in my collection, starting with Barbie and her friends, Puppy Rescue. Yeah, I don't know that I'll be spending a lot of time playing this game, but if you're already over 100 Wii U games and you don't have that many more to go, you're going to start getting things like this, where it's like, okay, this fills a letter in the alphabet. At least the disc is clean and it's complete with the instruction manual in the box. Loose discs are not something I'm willing to do while collecting for Wii U. One of the recurring themes you will note throughout these Wii U games is that many of them do not support the Pro Controller, which frustrates me because why they would sell a Pro Controller and then force you to use the gamepad in almost every physical game, I have no idea. It seems like the only things they wanted to support with the Pro Controller were platformers and side-scrolling games, basically either virtual console titles or things like Shovel Knight. Other than that, they force you to use the gamepad a lot of the time. Barbie and her sister's Puppy Rescue is no exception. But then again, I don't know that the gameplay is deep enough that I really care whether the Pro Controller works or not. I'm so disinvested in this that I'm not even creating a real profile. My name is Q. That's good enough for me. Let's create a profile. Let's make sure this works. It uses an autosave feature. That's good to know. And then Barbie's like, let's get going. These puppies won't rescue themselves. You go rescue the puppies, Barbie. I got other games to test. Thank you very much. You work, and the Wii U Pro Controller does not. So I have to get out of the game by pushing the home button and closing the software, because the Wii U Pro Controller won't even let me do that much. I think that's the other thing that perplexes me about having a Pro Controller is I can understand if you want the game to be designed for the gamepad, so play it with the gamepad, but why do you have to disable the Pro Controller so that you can't even use it to go back to the main menu? You could at least let people turn it on, hit home, and quit the game, but some of these games don't even let you do that. Anyway, Cars 3 Driven to Win looks like it's in cosmetically good shape, which I am happy about. So once again, we have another game that I am ready to test here on the Wii U. Let's get cracking. Now this one did not come from Ben's Game Zone. This one came from Trade Post Entertainment, which used to be known as CD Trade Post, but these days I think they needed to diversify the name and the idea of having a physical store to buy physical things, because basically compact discs have become dinosaurs in our entertainment media, as have physical games in general, really. So if you appreciate physical games, the Wii U might be one of your last sets to go out for and complete, because even the majority of Wii U games were electronically and digitally released. And since both history and the marketplace have deemed the Wii U to be a failure, there just aren't that many physical games to get, so it's actually a reasonable set to try to complete. What's funny is that the PlayStation Vita handheld is also considered to be something of a flop, yet there are over 1,500 games released for that, and I don't think the Wii U can compare in any way, shape, or form. Now, unfortunately, with Cars 3, they don't really take advantage of the dual displays here, so when the game is actually in progress, you get a static image from Pixar and Disney for the majority of the time. All the action takes place on your television, which is another thing that confounds me about Wii U games is dual displays are possible, yet so many games do not take advantage of the functionality in any way whatsoever. Why have it if you're not going to use it? Maybe that's another reason there weren't many Wii U games developed, is more people just didn't understand what to do with it or how to do it. Devil's Third is probably a great example of that because it started out as a completely different game for a completely different console, and then one publisher after another that they had signed up with to release the game went bankrupt and closed. And finally, in desperation, the developers were like, hey, Satoru Iwata, you need more online multiplayer games, right? Will you release this game on your console? And he said, sure, what the heck. I like you guys, you're cool. We'll do that. But then they didn't really support it that well. It had an incredibly low print run, especially in North America. Not quite as much in Japan and Europe. You can find cheaper copies of the game there, but because of region locking, those copies won't work in a North American Wii U. So if you want a version that works, you're kind of stuck paying big bucks for it. And I do mean triple digits. This did get a reprint because of high demand, but that quickly sold through, and even the reprint goes for the same price because the two editions are virtually indistinguishable from one another. I can't tell the difference between them, and I haven't seen anybody that can, so they are essentially the same, and they are both very scarce. So if you're just out and about and you're looking through stuff at thrift stores, pawn shops, markets, flea markets, that kind of thing, and you see a copy of this and it's marked like $5 because they don't know about it, you best to be grabbing it. Even if it's a loose disc, even if it looks a little scratched up, even if it's in the wrong case, who freaking cares? Whatever you get it in, whatever way it looks, you have just scored. If it works, it's great. And if it doesn't work, you've still got a collector's item. So one way or another, you can't really lose. Now, if you paid 3 digits for this game and it was scratched up and didn't work, then you'd lose big time. So I was definitely nervous about putting this one in the Wii U. I was afraid if it didn't work, I'd be out quite a bit of money, but it's the one big ticket Wii U game that I need for my collection, so I just felt like it's time to get it out of the way and get it over with. Unfortunately, even though it does support the Wii U Pro controller, which is absolutely fantastic, the trade-off for that is that there isn't much going on the gamepad, so watching this footage is rather dry. But at least if you've seen the Game Grumps play it, you'll recognize what you hear in the background right now, which is the lead character Ivan playing the drums underneath Guantanamo Bay in his prison cell. And then when he finishes his drum set, he takes his drumsticks, breaks them in half, and drops them. Good old Rooples Pooples, everyone's favorite Ivan the Terrible. And this game is terrible. You don't get it for the quality, you get it to complete the set, which is the same reason I've got Disney Infinity 3.0, because I've already got 1.0 and 2.0, but this one came bundled with the Disney Infinity Portal, which is basically the same as the Skylanders Swap Force Portal, where you put figures on it and put them into the game. Toys to life, as they say. If you get it loose without the portal, you can get it for under $10. If you get it with the portal, you might still be able to get it for $10 or less. If you get it complete in the box, you're probably spending a little bit more than that, but not a lot, because Disney Infinity is fairly common out there. There was not a shortage of the game, the system, or the figures in any way, shape, or form, which makes it a little bit astounding that they just up and canceled the entire service and all of the toys and just said, screw it, we're done. Especially when you consider that there's a 20-minute download to update this thing. And it's not my internet. I just upgraded to Cox Gigablast, and yet, woo, this one took a while. So long that I didn't want you to all sit through that. And as you can see, the online service is no longer available. So I sat through a 20-minute download just to be told that a lot of the features in this game are no longer available. But you can play it even without the portal. It does have some built-in features that you don't need online or portal for. I could plug the portal in, but I don't even know if I have any Disney Infinity figures. If I did, I would add them to it, but I don't, so I won't. But here we have a nice little Star Wars based section with Anakin and Ben Kenobi and whoever the other lady is, I forget. And he's like, Anakin, no, don't. I have the high ground. But Anakin is fearless and he's going to use the Force to fly himself over the gap and then stand off a droid. And now we have Family Party 30 Great Games. 30 great games, you say? Wow, what a value. Only $9 for 30 great games? This is another one from Ben's Game Zone. The last one, Disney Infinity, came from Trade Post, but we're back to Ben's again. And we'll see if it can live up to awesome multiplayer. That's what it says on the box. That's what it's promising me. So let's find out. And can we get this thing to start? There we go. Family Party, 30 Great Games, Obstacle Arcade. But once again, we have a game where I can open it by using the Wii U Pro Controller. But once I actually get it up and running, I can't do jack with the controller. It's going to make me do everything with the gamepad. Why? At least when you have the Switch Pro Controller, you can actually use it on just about everything. Other than motion games like Ring Fit Adventure, in those cases it's understandable that you wouldn't be able to do it with anything other than the included controller and your Joy-Cons. But most games, arcade games, action games, RPGs, puzzle games, whatever it is, you can use the Pro Controller. You can use other controllers. In fact, one of the hilarious things you can do is you can download Sonic 1 from the eShop, and then you can play it using a Super Nintendo Switch Online controller. I've done it myself, so I know it can be done. You can even do it with Sonic 2 as well. Don't know if they'll ever get around to releasing Sonic 3, given all of the issues with Michael Jackson and everything, but we'll see. This is Mr. MegaManFan saying thanks for watching. This is part 1 of 10 new Wii U games. I'll be back next week with part 2. Bye for now.